It's a gorgeous day down here in Monterey and perfect conditions for a kayak trip on the water. Hopefully we'll see some sea lions and otters. Every year, several families in our neighborhood plan a camping trip, and last year we went to Yosemite, which I made a video about, and you can find it in my Epic Adventures playlist if you're interested. This year we're camping out of Sunset Beach just north of Monterey, and this morning we're going to be taking a guided kayak tour with Monterey Bay Kayaks, which operates out of Moss Landing. They're going to take us for an hour-and-a-half guided tour of the Elkhorn Slough Harbor. The Elkhorn Slough is a 7-mile stretch of salt marshes that are fed by the ocean waters that are funneled in via Monterey Bay. It's a wildlife sanctuary to over 700 different animal species, including sea otters, sea lions, seals, bat rays, and leopard sharks. So I'm hoping to see a lot of great wildlife today. The most common mammal that we're going to see is the sea otter, and probably about 20 years ago, the population here in the slough was not very large. There were about 20 sea otters, all male. And through the efforts of the Monterey Bay Aquarium, they've rehabilitated a lot of the sea otter population. And today there's probably about 140 sea otters. So apparently they're all over. The increase in the population of the sea otter is a great thing, as they do a very good job in keeping the estuary clean. The first thing that you're going to notice when you hit the water are the egrets, and they're pretty common out here in the sloughs of Northern California. The snowy egret and the great egret are both white, and the way that you tell the difference between them is that the great egret has black feet instead of yellow feet, and then there's of course the blue heron. There's a huge raft of otters that hang out right here just at the mouth of the harbor. There's maybe about 30 or 40 of them. They are such fun to watch. They're the smallest of the sea mammals, and unlike seals and sea lions, they don't have a ton of blubber. And so they generally have to eat about 1/4 of their weight in food every day. What they have instead is this really, really thick coat of fur. And this is actually what got them hunted into almost extinction a couple hundred years ago. They're the most dexterous of the sea mammals, and they generally feed off of shellfish. And with their little hands, they can actually figure out tools to break the shellfish open so they can get to the meat on the inside. The harbor is also where you'll find a huge colony of cormorants. These are really interesting seabirds, and they fish much like ducks by diving under the water and catching fish that way. And they can hold their breath for up to a minute underwater. The Chinese used to train the cormorants to fish for them. They would tie a piece of string around the cormorant's neck so that it couldn't swallow the fish, and when the cormorant dove in, grabbed the fish, came back up, they would snatch it out of the bird's beak. As you get into the estuary, there are a ton of harbor seals just sitting out on the shoreline sunning themselves. I don't know if you can see, there's a little group of them back here behind me. They're pretty phenomenal. They're a little bit smaller than the sea lions. An adult can grow up to 6 feet in length. With all the seal hunting that went on a couple hundred years ago, they were also pretty much hunted into its extinction, and the population has rebounded, and there's now about 500,000 seals worldwide. Mostly they're located in the Arctic region, and we're lucky enough to get some down here in California as well. Pelicans are pretty abundant out here, and you're going to see them flocking over near where the seals are. They're pretty interesting fishermen. They hunt by diving into the water and scooping huge loads of it up into their beaks, and then using it as a sieve. And what comes out is what they swallow and eat. So we only saw one sea lion today, and judging by the size of it, I think it's a male. So they get pretty big. They're up to 7 feet on the males and up to 6 feet on the females. And there are very few of them left. I think there's only a couple 100,000 left worldwide. And we're super lucky because the majority of them live here in Northern California around the Monterey Bay, San Francisco area. That was an awesome time and we saw so much out there. I would definitely recommend that you guys come out when you get a chance and try your hand at a little bit of kayaking. Thanks for coming along on this epic adventure, and until the next time, peace. Here's a little bonus footage for you guys. Just down the way from Moss Landing is Watsonville, which is the cradle of the agricultural industry here in Northern California. And there are a ton of farms here, specifically berry farms. And if you look, you can find a You Pick berry farm. And we're here at a blueberry picking farm. Ooh, check this out. Bonanza! Look, all of this only $12.